All right, I just started recording the event so that the kids who are not on the Zoom call with us tonight can still have access to these questions and watch the solutions. So if you go ahead and click got it, that you recognize that it's being recorded. Nobody can see anything except my screen in this recording. They cannot see the chat, they cannot see your faces, so don't worry. I'm just recording the math. In about 60 seconds, I'm going to give you my first hint in case you're not sure how to work out this problem. So try your best, and I'll give you a hint in about 60 seconds. Okay, here is my first helpful hint. You should place those two equations into your graphing calculator if you have one. If you don't have one, then I'm going to put it up here on the screen so you could follow along with me in the event that you wish you had one. So here we go. I'm going to put my small calculator up here on the side. I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to show you what I think would be a good move for you here. I think a good move would be to type in 2/3 x into your y1, and then -4. And then I'm going to go down and type in 1/4 x plus 1 in my second function here. So if you have a calculator, this is what I suggest you do. If you don't have a calculator at home, then you could pretend that you're typing this and follow along as I show you the table, right? So I'm going to go into the table here, second table, and maybe this will help you to kind of work your way through some of these questions. Okay, so I'm going to leave the screen at this part of the table right now so you can assess one of those answers, and then I'm going to scroll. All right, I'm going to reveal the answer in a minute. I'm letting some kids that don't have calculators kind of view my calculator screen here. So we should be able to answer choice number 1. Is function f and function g both equal to each other when the input is 4, when x is 4? So if you're looking at your graphing calculator here, is it big enough for you? I don't know. Can you guys see that? Maybe I should use this calculator instead. Y equals 1/2. Oh, I think I'm doing this in a different order. 2/3 x minus 4. 2/3 x minus 4, and then 1/4 x plus 1. Yeah, plus 1. All right, so maybe this one's a little bit bigger for you for those viewing the screen here. Second table, so I can see it at an input of 4, the outputs are not the same. So this one is definitely wrong, right? This one is definitely wrong, because when this is 4, the outputs were different, right? -4/3 and 2. So the next thing I'm going to check here is, how about when x is 12? When x is 12, are those two functions equal to each other? So then I scroll down, and I should be looking at 12. Let's see. 12, look at that. When the input is 12, f and g have the same output. F and g have the same output. So this one is definitely true. Now let's read the next one. The graphs of f and x and g of x intersect at 12,4. So we look at that point, 12,4. Is that the same for both? Yeah. So that one is true as well. So these two are true. And then how about 412? So I'm going to go back to my table. I'm going to scroll back to that number 4. And I do remember them being different. So that one is out. So that one is out. Okay. So we know that choices number 2 and 3. So if you chatted me, and I know some of you did, if you chatted me multiple choice 4, you are correct. Congratulations. Now, not everybody chatted me. I'm not sure if that's because you don't have a calculator or if you didn't know what to do, but hopefully as I work through this problem, it helped you to understand what you should have done. Now, can you solve this without a calculator? Absolutely. You could have taken the number 4 and substituted it in for the letter X here, and you could have mathematically figured out if they were equal. You could have substituted in a 12 here and figured out if mathematically they were equal. But thank you so much for choosing that question. Whoops. Oh no, I know I didn't mean to do that. All right, so I'm going to cover that up. That was lucky number 7. I'm pretty sure Caesar was the one who chose that. Thank you so much. So I'm going to scroll down my list here. The next person up is Daniela. Daniela, pick a question number for us. Pick a question, any question. Daniela picks, ooh, I don't know if that's lucky or unlucky. I was going to say lucky number 13. Here we go. Get your paper out, kids. All right, thank you so much. I got one answer in. Let's see who's next. I got a second answer in. Wait another minute as kids are finishing up. I don't want to rush you. If you're not sure what to do, this is where we're starting here. We are starting with distributing this fraction like that. So 5/6 times 3/8, 5/6 times 3/8 is 5/16. So I would use my calculator to do that. Minus 5/6x equals 16. This is one method that you could use to start this problem. I know some kids like to clear the denominators. You could have also multiplied both sides by 6 and got 5 times 3/8 minus x equals 96. You could have also done that technique here. If you did the pink method, then the next step would have been 16 minus 5/16. So 16 minus 5/16, and you should use your calculator to help you do this math. There's no reason to do this math by hand. Whoa, what? That is crazy. Is that right? Did I do that right? Negative 5/6x equals 251 over 16. Did I do that right? I hope so. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply by the reciprocal. So this one times negative 6/5. And if I press the times sign, you see I get this ANS letter. That means take the previous answer. That's what that means. Take the previous answer and multiply it by, what are we multiplying it by? Negative 6/5. So multiply it by negative 6. Whoops. Negative 6/5. Oh no, what did I do wrong? Oh, I pressed the subtraction sign instead of the negative sign. There we go. Negative 6/5. Woo, yikes. 753 over 40. I'm going to change that from a fraction to a decimal. Negative 18.825. So if you picked multiple choice 2, which many of you did, I saw it in the chat. Thank you so much for chatting me. I got it from many of you: Gabby, Oyadayu, Vanessa, Leslie, Daniela, Tiffany, Ariana. Fantastic. If you didn't chat me, hopefully it's because you had to, I don't know, go get a drink or something, but hopefully you are following along. Excellent. Choice number 2. I'm going to go back to the game board and let's see. The last person to pick was Daniela. She picked 13. So next up is Leslie. Pick a number, any number, Leslie. Pick a question, any question. Leslie's going with 21. Okay, here we go. 21. Give it a try, kids. This should be quick. All right, I got some answers coming in now. Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Ariana. Well done. Thank you. Oyadayu, I got it. Excellent. Tiffany, excellent. Good job, good job. So I'm going to start writing my solution here since everybody's getting it right. Now, depending on how you solved it, you can either subtract 2h from both sides. Oh, sorry, I'm saying subtract. Subtract 2h from both sides, or you can subtract 3h from both sides. Not sure which one you chose to do. I'm going to subtract 3h only because I prefer my letters, my variables on the left. If I do that, though, I will get a negative coefficient here. Right, so even if I move this 8 over, when I'm done and I divide by -1, don't forget, we talked about this in class today, that when you divide by a negative, you reverse the order of the inequality, right? You reverse the order of the inequality. So well done. Choice number 1 was right. Thank you, thank you, thank you for choosing question 21. All right, we're going to cover that up. 21 is gone. Next up is Tiffany. Please pick a question. Tiffany, pick a question number. 18. Here we go, kids. All right. All right, thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Leslie. You are all correct. I'm going to underline some keywords here. Key phrase there being each day. Thank you, Ariana. Okay. So let's talk about this. To deduct 10 points means to minus 10. Right? And if you minus 10 per day, then that means the deduction is 100 possible points, right? That's the max. That's your initial value. Everybody starts with a grade of 100, and then you minus 10 points each day. And this right here is linear. This is linear because it's the same amount of change each time. Minus 10, minus 10, minus 10. If it was something like half credit each day, Well, then after the first day, it'd be 50. And then after the next day, it'd be 25. And after the next day, it'd be 12.5. So see how that number is different each time. That's exponential. So this one is linear. Why? Because it has a constant decrease as its rate of change. It has a constant decrease as its rate of change. So the answer to this one was number 1, linear. Thank you to everyone who responded to the question. All right, number 18 is gone. All right, thank you, Tiffany. Next up is Ariana. Did you pick a number? I don't think so, Ariana. You're up. Pick a question number, please. 19. Here we go. Oh, this is a fun one. What is that? What is that? Does anybody know? This is a close-up photo of something. Ooh, Daniela got it. Anybody else? Yep, Tiffany got it. Gabriella got it. All right, 3, 2, 1. It is the bottom part of a pair of ice skates. The bottom part of a pair of ice skates, right? So when the ice skates swish to the side here, they often cut up some of this little snow there, right? Some of those ice chips. All right, thank you so much. You got a fun question. Not all of them are fun questions. Many of them are math questions. All right, Oyadayo, you're up. Pick a number. He picks number 10. Here we go, kids. Now, this is a new question. So you've never seen this before, so I'm going to read it to you, but I want you to read the first sentence alone by yourself first. And then I'm going to read it to you. I want to make sure that you are reading this important word here correctly. Which situation does not describe a causal relationship? This word right here is causal, to cause. Which situation does not describe a causal relationship? All right, I'm going to be quiet. Let you read the options. Causal means to cause. So to be causal means this situation causes that situation to happen. So I'm going to read through these choices here. Thank you for chatting me your responses. The higher the volume on a radio, the louder the sound will be. So as a student, you can kind of put this word here, causal, you can kind of put it into the sentence. The higher the volume on a radio, it causes the sound to be louder, right? The higher the volume on the radio causes the louder the sound. So that's true. These do cause each other to happen. Number 2, the faster a student types a research paper, it causes more pages the research paper will have. The faster a student types, the more pages it will have. I'm not so sure, so I'll come back to this one. Number 3, the shorter the time a car remains running, it causes less gasoline to be used, right? So I'm using that word, to cause. I'm using that word right here where the comma is. The shorter the time a car is running, it causes less gas to be used. That's true. Number 4, the slower pace of a runner, it causes the runner to take longer to finish the race. Well, that is true. So that leaves us with only number 2. You can type really fast, but that doesn't mean you're going to type more pages. It just means you'll be done sooner. So number 2 is the only one that is not a causal relationship. I read this one to you, and I specifically put this on tonight's lesson because it sometimes pops up on the Regents, and it's not really part of any unit. It's just a vocabulary word. And if I don't expose it to you, sometimes you often read this as the word casual by accident. Casual is spelled this way. If you reverse the U and the S, you get casual. And that's not what this says. This says causal. So which one is not a causal relationship? And that was 2. Thank you so much for picking that question. That was number 10. Thank you. All right, let's see. Vanessa, you're up. Pick a number.
A random number is 9.
I don't know if you heard that. The Alexa in my house thought I was talking to her. All right, here's question number 5. Okay, kids, we just finished this unit. You should be really good at this one. Okay, thank you for chatting me your answers. Okay, got a couple of responses. Thank you, Vanessa, Gabby, Isabella, Leslie, Caesar, Tiffany. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to share my screen real quick with you here. So this is the function that we had here in the question. Okay, this is the function that we had here in the question. And what I've done is I've removed the letter X, and I'm waiting to replace it with that input. The input was 8, right? So you can use your calculator to input that in here. I'm not sure if you know this, but the calculator, if I put my cursor here, if I type in 8, it's actually going to write over that parentheses. And what I really wanted to do was kind of just stick it in there. So I don't know if you see over here above the delete key. Above the delete key, there is a blue letters that say INS, and that means insert. And you can insert something so that it won't type over the rest. So I'm going to go over here to this other blank, and instead of typing an 8 over that parentheses, I'm going to press second delete. You see that cursor the way it's flashing now? That's going to shift everything over after I insert that 8. So 8 was my input. Now I press enter. And whoops, off the screen. There we go. Voila. Yes, everybody who chatted me got it right. Everybody who chatted me 27. Some of you chatted me the multiple choice number of 3. Fantastic. All right. Thank you very much. Question number 5 was finished. Okay, let's see who's next here. Caesar, you're up. Pick a number. 14. All right, folks, here we go. Number 14. Back from unit 3. Let's see how you do. So you need a calculator for this one. If you don't have a calculator at home, this one's going to be tough for you. So I'm going to share my screen real quick so I can enter this data for you if you don't have a calculator. So here we go. If you do have a calculator, you should be pressing your stat button. You should be choosing number 1 or edit. You should be putting all of these numbers, all of them go into list 1. So 2, 5, another 5, 6, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. You should have all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of data. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then you press stat. You go over to calc and you calculate the one variable stats. So that's what you should be doing. If you don't have a calculator at home, here are the stats. So write down anything that might be important. I'm gonna slide it over for a second. Let's see if I can make this smaller a little bit so we can see both. Okay, median. Well, I cannot see the median on this calculator screen right now, so I have to arrow down some. Okay, so the median for this set of data, right, which was on this calculator, the median for this calculator is 6. So the median of A is 6, and the median of B is this line here, which is also 6. So 6 is not greater than 6, so that is not true. So then I look at the next question. The range of A. Well, the range of A is from 2 to 9. That has a range of 7. And the range of B is from 4 to 10. There's a range of 6. And 7 is not less than 6. So that one is also wrong. The upper quartile of A, that's known as the Q3, right? So I'm going to go back here, look at my Q3. The upper quartile of A, 7.5, is less than the upper quartile of B. So this is 7.5, and the upper quartile of B is 9. So that's our winner, because the lower quartile of B is 5, and the lower quartile of A is 5. And 5 is not greater than 5. So the answer was 3. Thank you for chatting me in. Thank you for chatting me your answers. Hopefully, if you chatted me the wrong number, you understand now why the answer was number 3. The answer was number 3. Okay, let's go back to the game board. Okay, let's see what we got here. Gabby, you're up. Gabby, you're up. Pick a number. I'm going to start my share again here. Something was up. I got to reshare it. Here we go. Okay. Gabby picks number 3. Here we go. Ooh, this is a fast one. I know you guys are going to be chatting me fast. Which relation is not a function? Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Ariana, Gabby, Leslie. Thank you, Caesar, Tiffany. Thank you, thank you. I see your responses. I'll wait 5 more seconds. Thank you, Isabella. Thank you, Daniela. Okay, excellent. Remember, a function has no repeating x values with different y values, right? The input has to have a unique output. This one here, thank you, everybody got it right who chatted me, has an input of 6 with 2 different outputs, 6 and 10 and 6 and 12. And that is not allowed. That is not allowed. So choice number 4 was the right answer. It is not a function. Thank you so much for choosing number, what did we think? We just chose number 3, right? I think I forgot to cover up Caesar's question. Caesar picked 14, so I got to cover that up. Okay, let me see. Who have I not called on in a while? Isabella, pick a question, any question. All right, she picks 20. Here we go, folks. Number 20. Ooh. Okay, that's a tough one. Give you a second to look it over. All right, hint number 1. If you're not sure what to do, look carefully at the question here. It states that this is a line. So anything that is a line is linear. And anything that's linear, right, can be written as this type of equation. So these 2 points make an mx plus b line. And in order to use data to create an equation, we call that regression. So that's my hint for you. These points can be turned into a line by calculating the regression. So let's see if that helps you create at least the sentence that the question represents. The question represents a line going through those points. When I say regression, you should be thinking, calculator. So I'm going to turn my calculator on in case you don't have one at home. And I'm going to follow along with you here in the Stat Edit button. I'm going to clear out all this data that I have here. I'm going to clear out list number 1. I'm going to enter the points. 2, enter, and arrow over to list 2. There's my first point, 2, 3. My second point is 4, 4, enter, -7, enter. There's my 2 points. Now I'm going to create the y equals mx plus b line. Thank you, Ariana. I'm going to create that y equals mx plus b line by pressing stat, calc, lin, reg. All right, there it is. So the 2 points from the question have to be this sentence. Y equals -5x plus 13. So if you don't have a calculator at home, or if you do, this is what you should have done. Y equals -5x plus 13. Now I need you to manipulate these 4 to see if any of them, if when manipulated, would match your line, right? That's how you find a line. Thank you, Tiffany, for your response. So the question is, how many of these 4 sentences, when manipulated, will end up looking like this? How many, after you manipulate them, will end up looking like that? All right, thank you. Thank you. I got some more responses coming in now. Hopefully you're understanding how you can attack this problem a little bit better. I'm going to start manipulating this first one here without writing each step, -5x, -5x. So yes, this first one is a match. The second one requires a little bit more work. Y plus 7, oops, sorry about that. Y plus 7 equals -5x plus 20. Now, if I subtract 7, I'm going to get -5x minus 7 is plus 13. This one is also a match. This one is definitely a match. And then I manipulate this last one, y minus 7 equals 5x minus 20. And when I add 7 to both sides, I get 5x minus 13. These are all the wrong signs. So this one is no. So 3 of them are yeses, 1, 2, 3, and 1 of them was a no. So the correct answer was, many of you chatted it to me. Thank you very much. Many of you got it. There are 3 possible solutions. So if you did not chat me that number, hopefully my work over here on the right-hand side is helping you to understand why the last one does not manipulate to the correct signs, right? It has a +5 and a -13. All right, let's cover up question number 20. And let's go back to my list. Okay, next one up is Ariana. Pick a number. She picks lucky number 17. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, if you're using a calculator at home, then hopefully you're close to an answer. If you do not have a calculator, then you cannot solve this problem. So I'm going to turn my calculator on so we can at least start together. So we're going to stat edit. We're going to empty out these lists by deleting these values. And we're going to start entering into our list one, 92, 98, 84, 80, 75, and 82. Then we're going to arrow over to list 2, and we're going to type in these values, 91, 95, 85, 85, 75, and 78. Check to make sure all my data points are there. Okay. Now, don't forget, every time you take the Regents exam, they're going to reset the memory on your calculator. So when that happens, your diagnostics go off and you cannot get a correlation coefficient. So I'm going to head and turn mine on. I'm going to do that by using the mode. You can also do it by using something called the catalog. I'm going to model that for you here, just because we don't use it very often. But if you press the second 0 button, you get the index of all of the items in this calculator. So I'm going to arrow down to the word diagnostics, and I'm going to choose diagnostics on. So that's one way you can do it in the catalog. The other way you can do it is in the mode button. The mode button has stat diagnostics. So you can also turn the stat diagnostics on this way. Okay, so now that my stat diagnostics are on, I'm going to go back to my stat button. I'm going to calculate. Thank you for chatting me your responses. I see them coming in. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Caesar. Thank you, Ariana. I'm going to go over to calculate linreg, right? Because it says here, if a linear model is applied to these data, which statement best describes the correlation coefficient? So linreg number 4, enter, enter, enter. And there it is, 0.924. So I'm gonna leave that over here for a second so we can look at the responses. Is it close to -1? No, it's not even negative, right? Is it close to +1? Yeah, I could say that. Is it close to 0? No. Is it close to 0.5? So the answer to that is yes, but it is closer to 1. It's closer to 1 than it is to 0.5. So the correct answer for this problem was 2, but you can't solve it unless you have a TI-84 and you know where to put the data, right? So that's 2 things that is concerning to me. If you knew that you needed to put it into the stat edit button, but you just didn't have a calculator, well, then you do know what to do, okay? Having a calculator is going to be beneficial to your practice. All right, I'm going back to the game board, covering up number 17 here. All right, this is probably going to be our last question. Let's see how much we got time for. So I'm going to go with Leslie. Leslie, you're the winner. Pick a number. She picked number 1. All right, Leslie, thank you for picking number 1. Here we go. Okay, so here's my hint. You can do the math. You can plug this number into X and this number into that X, and you can do the math yourself, or you can type it in the calculator. So while you're figuring out yours, I'm going to help out any kid who doesn't have a calculator but wishes they did. And I'm going to type these two sentences in here. 3x minus 2. And the second one is absolute value. Remember, you can get that in the math button here by arrowing over to the number menu. So math number, absolute value of x plus 2. All right, there's our two functions. If we look at their tables, we can look for matches, right? You can scroll up and down the table. So here we go. I'm looking at -2. Is that a match? No. Right? So how about an input of +2? Is that a match? Yes. So this one is a definite match. I see it in the table. So I'm definitely going to choose that. But let's just scroll down here. We can see that 4 is not a match. But if there were two fraction responses, it might be hard for you to tell if they were answers. So don't forget, when you're in your table here, you can always change the table settings. And you can have it start at whatever number you want to check. So if I want it to start at 2/3, I'm just going to put a 2/3 here. Let's see if I can write that. Start at 2. Let's see if I can type. Start at 2/3. All right, I'm going to start my table at 2/3. Let's take a look. Oops, I pressed graph by accident. Table. All right, there it is. See? I started my table at 2/3. Is it a match? No. Okay, so I'm going to go back and change my table settings so that the next time I use it, it's not too messed up. But you can always enter this into the settings. All right. All right, I think we got time for one more question, kids. This will be the last one of the night. I'm going with, who am I going with? Vanessa, pick a number. Pick a number, any number. Pick a number, Vanessa. She picked number 9. Woohoo! Oh, dag, Vanessa. You picked a tough one. I hope you're thinking to yourself, this is a calculator question. I hope you're thinking that, because this is a calculator question. So here we go. If you don't have a calculator at home, I'm going to help start you out here. I'm going to type each of these I'm going to type this sentence here into my y equals by clearing everything out. And we'll just take a look at our graph. X parentheses, X plus 6 parentheses, X plus 3 parentheses. And there we go. We're just going to look at the graph. So it definitely does not look like choices 3 and 4. You see that? Definitely does not look like choices 3 and 4. So I go and take a closer look at numbers 1 and 2. I'm kind of looking to see, does it cross at -3? This one looks like it crosses a -3. 4, 5, 6. Yep. So if you chatted me the number 1, which many of you now did, fantastic. You did it. Fantastic. All right. Before you go, I have a question for you. Does anybody know what this is? It's your last question of the day. And it is not on the Regents exam. Does anybody know? This is a close-up photo of something. Do you know what it is? Okay, I got a guess of pasta, a mushroom. No idea. Muffins. All right, you guys ready for the reveal? It is the inside. It is the inside of a pepper. It's the seeds in a pepper. It's the seeds in a pepper. Oh, I got you. That was a pretty good one, huh? That was a pretty good one. All right. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. I hope you feel like you learned something new with these questions today, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye. See you tomorrow.
Good night.
Night.